Thank you so much for joining me here on LinkedIn Live. As you're probably used to it, we are now streaming, live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Today, we're going to be talking about taking control of your destiny and being able to communicate in a way that projects a winner mindset. In the words of author Wallace D. Wattles, being able to add value in every conversation, opportunity, every meeting, every encounter that you have with all people. And I say all people, not just in career and in business, because you could literally go to the grocery store, meet somebody, and if they feel as if you can add value to their project, their organization, whatever, you can literally meet an important, influential person in the grocery store. So before we begin, if you feel that this live stream can help people, please share it with friends and family. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below, and we can make this as interactive as we possibly can. So the first thing that we want to talk about with having a winner mindset is asking yourself if you feel that you are a winner consistently across the board, despite the mistakes, despite the failures that you might have made in life, especially in the new year, because you can think that you're a lukewarm winner or a winner not at all, and try to have a winner mindset, but it's not going to work. So you have to believe that you are a winner and that you have the talents, the skills, the experience, the wisdom, etc., to be able to change your organization, your business, other people's lives, etc. So in order to get a winner mindset, one of the quickest ways that you can do that is start to write a list of all of your accomplishments. I'm sure you've heard many of the big gurus tell you to do this, but write a list of all of your accomplishments over the past 5 to 10 years. Cut out some time to do this, because if you're a very ambitious person, you're probably going to have a long list. And make sure that they go from the front of the paper to the back, and just keep writing all your accomplishments, whether it was as small as you won a $50 lotto ticket, or you won a basket of food at some kind of a local contest, or even if you won a bingo game. It's still a win in my eyes, at least. So I look at all small, medium, and large wins as wins, period. So when you write down this list, sorry, I'm just going to adjust this for a bit. When you write down this list, you then want to read it and allow yourself some time to do this, so that you can feel how it feels to know that you have accomplished something in life. Again, even if it's a small, a medium, or a big win. I think that all wins are wins, period. As you're going through this list, let it sit in that you are a winner. And remember, the most successful people in life, in our history books, they have all had some kind of mistakes. And a lot of the times, if you are someone like myself who likes to read a lot of books about successful people, written by successful people, or even podcasts of interviews, for example, I really do like to pay attention if there's something consistent throughout all of their strategies. And all of them tend to have a strategy of having mistakes and even improving products, services, improving a script for a movie, for example, because of a mistake. So you can look at it the way that you want, but mistakes are actually opportunities waiting to come about. Now, let's get down to being able to speak in a way that you'll get more yeses than nos, even if you're at the negotiation table. The first thing I want to emphasize is it's really important that when we are speaking to people, that we're not just hearing them so that we can respond. And a lot of you, I used to be that person where I would hear somebody, think about what I'm saying just so that I could respond. And a lot of the times you might get some yeses, but you're not going to get as many yeses if you were to listen to every single person, no matter who they are, the homeless person, the person on your team, the grocery store cashier. If you actively listen to people more than hearing to respond, this will help you out a lot. So Lee Wright says mistakes on the job training. Exactly. So in those first 90 days too, I would even see the first year, a lot of people make mistakes, and it's very easy for newbies or new hires to feel as if they might get fired for mistakes. But I think within that first 90 days to a year, a lot of companies have a little bit of compassion, unless you're really causing some ruckus there. But I think it's really important to look at a mistake on the job in training, as Lee is mentioning, as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to get to know how your team or your boss is going to react to your mistakes. Are they going to be, are they going to have compassion? Are they going to be a teacher, or are they going to down you? And then you actually can take that information and say, okay, I keep making mistakes. It's the first 9 days, or it's the first year. This is a normal learning curve, just like everybody else. So is this the environment where I'm going to be treated with respect, treated like a human being, and treated as if I'm a regular human trying to learn all I can here? Or am I going to be fumbled? Are people going to fumble me and throw me under the bus in meetings? And then you can actually gauge yourself and have your own power. In this example, thanks again, Lee, to ask yourself, do you want to be in this organization or not? Do you want to be on this team or not? Is this a healthy environment or not? So yes, mistakes on the job in training are definitely opportunities to elevate, level up, and learn how the team reacts to you when you make normal human mistakes. So to think about how we're going to respond, other than listening versus hearing people, is when you're listening, try to take a mental note of the problems, because the only way that people are going to look at you as somebody who can add value is if you can solve their problems or make them feel better. Lee says exactly. So I promise you, the executives on the team, maybe it's nepotism and their dad owns the company, it doesn't really matter, but they are in the position that they're in because they solve problems quickly. So we also had to add compassion. If your boss is coming to you and they're saying, hey, Lee, for example, I'm really feeling really frustrated because I keep going to XYZ supervisor and they never seem to want to help me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to go to. Let's say they trust you and they keep coming to you about this problem. So as we're actively listening to that boss, we have empathy. Wow, you must feel really frustrated that XYZ isn't supporting you. Or let's take names out of this. You're not getting the support you need. And they're going to say, yeah, Lee, that's exactly how I feel. I just need to really solve this problem and I need to get this done within the first quarter of 2024. So Lee or myself, or we would both maybe think, okay, can I solve that problem? Do I know somebody that can solve that problem internally in the company or externally? If it's external, can I find what the budget will be? Can I do a short presentation to my boss and really wow him or her to let them know I'm the go-to person, plus I have compassion, plus I've been listening, plus I just solved a problem that they couldn't solve. Now, when you do something monumental like that, they're going to look at me or myself or whoever is on the line that will use this strategy and say, I can go to this person for more problems because they're a go-getter and they're not just here to take jobs and get things done. They're here to add value. So Lee says one of the critical requirements of leaders and team members is to slow down and actively participate in that present moment. And I absolutely agree with you. And it can be difficult for people to be in the present moment because they're thinking about the future, the forecast, what happened last week, their competition. So our brains are mudded with a lot of information. But if we can be in that present moment, as Lee is mentioning, leaders can get things done. They can allocate, they can send information to different teams. They can get people on different divisions in the executive team to get support, get budgets approved, because they're thinking in the moment, although they have the rest of the team there, maybe talking about the future and the present. And also when leaders and all people are thinking in the moment, we see things much more clear. Because if you're trying to think in the moment, but you keep thinking about the mistake from yesterday or the forecast, how can we really give our employers, our clients, and our customers, our loved ones, the best solution, the empathy, the compassion that they need in that moment, so that we can come to solutions with compassion, I know I keep saying that word, and really get things done. Other ways that you can get more yeses than nos, other than actively listening and having compassion and finding solutions, is to actually try to volunteer yourself for things that you necessarily may not get paid to do. Now, I'm not saying take on a job part-time and, and you're not getting paid. I'm talking about in your present organization, on your team. If you're in a town hall meeting and the CEO is saying that they have this particular problem, and you tell yourself, well, it's kind of near the beginning of the year, it's a little slow in this given moment until February or March, for example. I have a little bit of time on my desk. Instead of doing XYZ, let me take this back to my boss and see if there's any way that I can help. Now you just created an opportunity. And the more value that we add to people, places, and things, and the more solutions we can provide to people, places, and things. And I'm talking about in the work environment and business. I don't think you should necessarily, this is just me, from my experience, in your personal life, if you have a wife, children, a mother, a grandma, try not to use this strategy in these particular situations, if and only if you think that your family members and friends are going off of the ledge in life, or they tell you, I want to do this, but you keep seeing them make the same mistakes. Now, what kind of friend or family member are we if we don't try to give advice to our family and friends? This is more for work stuff, because sometimes when we try to help people in our personal lives, they can get defensive or put you to the side because they didn't ask for your help. Now, if they ask for your help, help them. But like I said, if and only if you see someone walking off the ledge or keep making the same mistakes and it's really detrimental, then say something. So Lee says, helping improve processes helps everyone to include yourself. That's right. So now we have to think that that extra 20 minutes at the end of the day of doing, as we were mentioning before, a project, it's not just helping you. And I want to really say how important it is. If you are on a team environment, which every organization has, even if you're the only person in the building that can do what you do, try to take yourself out of this. Try to take the promotion, looking good, because people can smell this on people. I can't speak for you, but when I go in business meetings with people that I actively work with, I can smell the person or persons in the room that are doing things just to get a pat on the back. And I promise you, your boss can tell, the CEO can tell, most people can tell. If they're very conscious, they can tell. Try to look at the bigger picture, because when you help your boss and your boss helps the team or the executives or the company, now they have possibly a bigger budget. What does a bigger budget mean? You can get promoted. Your team can get promoted. Everybody comes to work happy. People get bonuses. Divisions start opening up. Now they need new employees. Now you've got a mom or a dad or a best friend that might be able to fill that space. So think of the bigger picture, as Lee is saying, is because when you're adding value, the look at me mindset, exactly. The look at me mindset can be very detrimental, but let's kind of switch that up. Look at we mindset, because when your team wins, you win. When the customers win, they tell 10 other people, and it becomes this big cycle. And now your company's growing. And what do you think they're going to do for Lee or anybody on the line who's super ambitious and has the strategies? They're going to promote you. They're going to get you to be a team leader, a supervisor, that you might become an executive. So when we are adding value, this is not just about what can I get. I don't know who said this. Don't think about what you can do for the organization. Ask yourself, what can the organization do for me? What can I do for the organization is really the mindset that we should all have. Other ways to get more yeses and no in your career or your business or personal life is really, I would also say, having some kind of a forecasted mindset, whether somebody asks you or not. When I go in meetings, I'm always thinking about the future. If I'm trying not to think of a present moment problem that's presented, and now we're talking about a future issue or a forecast, I might do a little bit of research. Everyone becomes a vital asset. Exactly. So, and then to add on to that, when you're a star or you are ambitious, it usually will inspire other people to do the same thing, as long as our intentions are good and we really want the best for people. Now it inspires people to level up. So if your boss doesn't start coming to you as the go-to person, your colleagues will. And if you don't think that decision makers in your organization are noticing that you're the MVP, the most valuable person on the team, in the department, maybe in the organization, if you really aim high, that really is a good thing, because sometimes bosses talk about you to people in other organizations, and you'd be surprised how a boss, if they really, really like you because you use this strategy, might say, you know what, we don't really have it in the budget for 2024 to get you this or promote you to this, but I have a friend that works at XYZ tech company or Google or something like that, and they were just talking to me about an opportunity. Now, I can't promise you can get the job, but what I can do is give you their business card and let him or her know that you're calling them. So this is not just about internal opportunities, this is about external. And to get a little bit philosophical, no matter what anybody tells you, every thought, every feeling, everything that we're thinking, feeling, or doing is a big ball of energy. And every time you help somebody, even if you go to the grocery store and you smile at the cashier, that cashier might be wanting to unalive themselves. But because you come in every time with a smile, or you're like, how you doing? That person might feel as if they actually have an opportunity to be alive, because that one customer that comes in and says something, whether it's nice t-shirt, now they're feeling good about themselves. So everything that we think or do, it has a positive or opposite consequence or benefit or reaction. And everything we do is a snowball effect, whether you want to accept that or not, good or bad, neutral, doing something, not doing something, it affects everybody. And other ways to get more yeses than no is just really having no baggage when you come to work or business. And this is very, very hard if you don't have a lot of it. This is very, very hard if you have a lot of trauma and issues, and or if you're not doing the inner work outside of work. And I say that because sometimes people come with good intentions, but because they might be a little bit raspy when they communicate, or they might be a little bit selfish, or they might have a lot of trauma. I can't explain it, but people can feel it on you. Decision makers, whether they have trauma or not, they can feel it. And so when they're trying to make a decision on who's going to get the promotion, who's going to get the boss, who's going to get the team lead opportunity, they're trying to pick somebody who's maybe not perfect, but comes together in a really good way as much as they can. But they know that this person is not perfect. So when you do that inner work outside of work, or maybe there's a program internally where you can speak to people and they can help you out. But if I personally would deal with my personal issues outside of a work or business environment, unless I really trust the person who's listening to me, right? The more clear and whole you are as a person, the more people feel a different energy and vibe around you than they do most people, because you're working on yourself. So you probably don't take a lot personal, or maybe you do take something personal, but you quickly, within maybe a couple of hours, let's just say a couple of hours, maybe a day, you brush it off and you come to work feeling good, not holding things against anybody, not holding grudges, not judging people, or not all of a sudden that's the good guy, but that's the bad guy. There's really no good or bad. There's what can we do to make ourselves better? And Lee says one of the most difficult tasks is for a person to separate their personal lives and their career lives today. Exactly, especially when things are quickly changing, the world is changing. There's a lot of unknowns about the banking systems, and they're forecasting layoffs for 2024. It can be very, very scary. But when you work on yourself, you have that energy of neutrality. Maybe you're not, and I don't mean stuff down your feelings, because that could be very detrimental. Because if you try to stuff down your feelings, you can go home, or go to the grocery store. I'm just using the cashier, and take it out on them. So now what are you really doing? You might be stuffing your feelings down and saying to the person that wronged you at work, no, that's okay, that's okay. And then you go home and you take it out on your wife or children or your dog or whoever. And so it's not really helping, right? So the more we work on our personal issues, we don't have to tell our boss that, but I can promise you, if you start working with your own little therapist, an executive coach, a mentor, a life coach, whatever you choose, or just a mentor that you find through some volunteering program, and you come to work every day, every week, every month, your boss is going to tell the difference. And they might say something like, wow, you look like you're glowing, but it's really because you're working on yourself. And they can then trust you because they might not know what you're doing to work on yourself, but they can feel that energy that you can lead neutrally, and that you can have compassion, and that you can not look at this person as a good person or a bad person or a high performer or a low performer. Just everything is neutral. We're all one, right? So I know I'm hitting the 20-minute mark, and I want to thank Lee for all of the comments, because they were great speaking points. But just remember, everybody, that communication is one of the keys to life. And the more that you can communicate to yourself in a really positive way, even when you make really big mistakes, the easier it can be for you to go to work and communicate with people that have the good intentions or the bad intentions, the low performer or the high performer. You speak to the janitor the same way that you speak to your boss, and the CEO the same way, because we're all human beings when we take off our work uniform, our suit, whatever it is that you wear every day. And when you find that place and space and time in your life where you realize that you can communicate in every circumstance without getting angry, blaming, shaming, getting defensive, even a mental judgment that you don't say, people can feel it. Trust me when I say this. If you are talking to somebody and you're trying to keep it neutral, but you're thinking in their head that XYZ, I'm not going to swear on LinkedIn, that person is such you're thinking that they can feel it. Trust me. The person at McDonald's can feel that you think you're better than them because they're making 10, 15, 16 bucks. Trust me when I say this. And the only way that you can go through life without judging people, even the boss that comes to you, you might think it's a simple thing. The boss thinks it's a difficult thing. We can even judge in our mind that, how dare they be the boss? I could fix this in 5 seconds. If you don't think they can feel that, because what you're thinking and feeling impacts your body language, it impacts your facial expressions, and these are all a part of communication. So the more that you get better with dealing with people of all races, ages, sexual orientations, mindsets, and you can do that in a way that creates a win-win outcome for everybody, I promise you, you will get more yeses than nos. And let's take the ego out of it. This is not about going through life saying, I can get anything I want. No, this is about, I add value, I'm present, I have compassion, I'm neutral about whatever is being said to me, and I'm doing my best to be my best and to provide the best, because when I provide the best, people will come to me to be the go-to man or woman for whatever problem they have. People will tell me their secrets that I hope everyone on the line is keeping to themselves. And when you can hold somebody's secrets, or you become that go-to person that people come to for their problems, you are a very powerful person, and you can solve them, or you can bring them to the right person that can support them. You will get more yeses and nos in all areas of your life. And as a result, you will inspire people to do the same. You'll be a magnet, and you'll almost have to be dodging phone calls or not taking so much time to help everybody, because as your life goes by, more people will trust you and believe that you can get more done versus 10 people that can't. That's very, very powerful. Thank you, Lee. Thanks. I'm glad that you think that this is a great job. I know I went over a couple of minutes. If you feel that this conversation is helpful, share it with friends and family. I will do my best next week to go live either Saturday or Sunday, and I'll make sure to add that advertisement, or that, I wouldn't say advertisement, but add that post of the next topic and the date and time for this coming next weekend, on Wednesday. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Thanks again, Lee, and have a happy New Year, and thanks for showing up. Take care. Happy Saturday. Bye-bye.